It's time to talk about the box office. How much did Jurassic World make? Because clearly, it's the big movie that came out this weekend. So, how much did it make? Is it a stomp of? Is it a stomp or a filler? I'm trying to make a good dinosaur pun, but I don't have it. Well, let's read this article from Variety together, shall we? As it reads, Jurassic World Rebirth stomps to 147 million over the July 4th weekend. Dinosaurs are ruling the box office again. Jurassic World Rebirth, the seventh installment in Universal's long-running prehistoric series, stomped to 147 million over its first 5 days in American theaters. Those ticket sales are enough to tower over the domestic charts, ruling the Star Spangled for July holiday weekend, and likely the position of the latest Jurassic as one of the biggest hits of the summer. However, there's a but here. However, those Intel returns are slightly down from the recent entries in the 32-year-old franchise. For context, Jurassic World Rebirth earned 91.5 million over the basic weekend. The movie opened on Wednesday to capitalize on Independence Day, basing it on Independence Day. The street drop from the 3-day start of 2015 Jurassic World, which entirely rebooted the sci-fi series with 208 million, as well as sequels 2018 Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom with 148 mil, and 2022 Jurassic World Dominion with 145 mil. After the 5 days on the big screen, so clearly each Jurassic World movie all went for the 4th of July weekend. Sorry. And the numbers collected were for the first Jurassic World 258, for the Kingdom 181, Jurassic World Dominion with 172. The downward trend signals that the aging property, of which began in that 94 Jurassic Park, and has produced several theme park rides, and in addition to spawning a film franchise, is exhibiting some wear and tear. And this is what they say. As long in the Tooth series, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Sorry. Won't experience economic returns at the box office, and Universal smartly we commemorated with Jurassic World Rebirth, which resets the property again with Sasha Hansen, John Bailey, and Herschel Ali. And the film cost 180 million to produce, not including its hefty marketing budget, which is way less than the 250 that the studios said in the prior Jurassic World films. Though the new installment doesn't need to reach $1 billion to become a commercial success, it's a benchmark that all three films in the beginning of essentially the previous three films have managed to pass, and Universal wants Rebirth to spawn a new trilogy. So retain interest for moviegoers is necessary to adjust that kind of commitment. And it's done well also internationally. It's doing a lot more better internationally with 171 overseas with 82 international markets. Globally, it has made 318 million. So, what I say with the numbers, like, look, the critics. People say that critics say no, it's split. I mean, some people enjoyed it, some people didn't. Some people were like, "Hey, it's cool, dinosaur action, it's great." But when it comes, then some are like, "Guys, like I like dinosaur action along with the next person, but for the love of God, can you give us some like good characters and like a? Why did the movie start with a Snickers bar? The movie starts with a Snickers bar. Why are you doing that? And but you may ask yourself why is there's a dip? Simple. The film hasn't, people like there's clearly still audience. You don't make 318 mil globally if there isn't an audience. So clearly there's an audience for still with this franchise. So they still got some hope. But the minute turn, like people maybe have enjoyed the first Jurassic World, checked Fallen Kingdom, didn't like Fallen Kingdom, so they didn't check Dominion, and Dominion made less, and people didn't like Dominion, so they didn't check out Rebirth, even though there's a brand new cast. They didn't like the previous films, so clearly there's going to be a dip in quality, a dip in returns. What I will say here is that they still got a pulse in the franchise. They still got a pulse, but they probably have look, this movie probably just needs to make maybe 400 mil, and that's gonna happen. This movie's gonna make 400 mil and be a marketable success. But if this movie stops at say 650, or it stops at 500 and something, that's when you start scratching your head and thinking, do we make another one? But with a capital B, if this movie at the end of its theatrical run makes say 800 or 700 plus, it will make they will make it. And then Blade had the point green the 8th film anyway. They might be just happy that by one weekend they got their production budget and probably half their production budget and most of their marketing budget, or all their marketing budget. It's just now just the 1/3 to the theaters. But clearly, there's still audience, but they need to get. But I will say this: I think the general audience has enjoyed this film. The response of this movie has been, oh, I enjoy. The response of this movie is, oh, I enjoyed this new Jurassic. This is really fun. This is good. This is back to form, and I have to say, the Jurassic World franchise is a zombie franchise, but it's just dinosaurs instead of zombies. Sometimes people just want to see simple things, which is people show up on an island for whatever reason, you get dinosaur action, and people get chased by dinosaurs and get eaten. And for all of the people who care about character development, they sound like party poopers. It's like, what, fun. You ever heard fun before, right? But once again, I think they got the Jurassic World insert 8, the 8th installment is going to happen. But I think they got one more chance to, really get to, get those numbers back up. Because they probably know, like, if this movie makes 800 and something, there's a risk that the next one will make 600 and something. So you're getting this, and the studios don't want that. They want this or this. So, of that. Anyway, but it's not going to get, Superman's coming out next week, or this week, next weekend, whatever we want to call it. And it's tracking big numbers. I think I saw 135 to 175. And, theaters are chuckers, people crashing sites, the reviews are, people who are breaking embargoes. Yes, there's that one review from that one news source who broke embargo, which I have to ask, what was the point of it? Unless You know, it's simply, hey, there was the London premiere, so you just naturally thought that you could, because that's normally what happens. Like when a premiere happens, insert the reviews. So maybe there was a little bit of miscommunication. Outside of that, I don't understand why someone would break a bargain if even if they like or didn't like a movie. And definitely, if reading that article and reading and checking the reviewers' credits, I the writer's credits, I'm like, you worked from like for IT and all that. You should know how this works anyway. Because if you break the embargo, you don't go and do your job. You don't get to talk about a movie early. Because there's a trust. There's a trust there. You know, the studio basically, we invite you to see our product early, but we trust you to not talk about it till this date and time on our social media, for a quick social media, and when to just go full in depth with it and all that. But Superman's gonna be big. It's gonna be, the DCU will thrive. But hearing from people who also are going a bit wink wink nod nod, little wink to the camera, wink to the Twitter feed and from interviews and all kind of stuff. People, Superman's a win. The DCU will thrive. Superman, Superman doesn't need to be a big hit. It just needs to be good. So, Superman walks so the DCU can run. So, but it'll be interesting how much there's a drop off, And I would be shocked that for a bunch of people who maybe can't get a ticket for Superman might go see Jurassic. See Jurassic instead. See, there's always that also, and the good thing about it is that because people had a fun time with Jurassic World, people will be like, I want to go back to the movies. Come on, what's coming out? Superman's next? Oh my god! And then and if what we are hearing, Superman's a really good movie. Oh my god, what's coming out in 2 weeks' time? It's Fantastic Four. So there's going to be this whipping effect, and it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time to be in movie theaters, great time to be studios. I think there's up. I think it's like 26%. What I heard that most people go to. It's the biggest year that people have gone back to the movies. So that's good. That's a really good sign. But anyway, but I'm curious what the drop off is going to be, knowing there's another big movie there, but on that week. But anyway, comment below, let me know your thoughts of the Jurassic World numbers. Anyway, let me know your thoughts.